You're good there. Let's see. I think so. Let's see if I can see. Okay, I think we're good. And we are ready to start.
Sure. Okay. Salem and 420. We're going to do current events instead of history this time.
All right.
It was 420 in Salem, and of course people are getting bored with the quarantine and want to go out and play, or at least get some weed to go home and get stoned to pass the time with. So let's see. I took off cat. You don't. You don't want my notes. Okay. So I went out to see what was up in Salem on the famous 420. The first place that I stopped was the Oregon Cannabis Outlet on 12th Street, which has been my go-to place for $50 ounces for sometimes. They've been doing this, really good deal on ounces. They're
I have no idea what the price, the costing on that stuff is.
Oh, you can spend like $300 an ounce if you're foolish.
Wow. Oh, something is in my lap. So $50 an ounce at Oregon Cannabis something?
Yeah, the first place that I went to was the Oregon Cannabis Outlet, which is kind of down in the warehouse district, a little bit south on 12th. Cat. And I saw on their advertisements that they had delivery through Leafly, so I placed my order.
Is Leafly strictly marijuana?
Yeah, it's a site for describing the quality of different strains, and you can also make connections there for delivery and such.
Interesting. Okay.
So I put the order in the morning. By 5, I hadn't heard from them, so I figure something's wrong. I try to call them out on the phone, nothing. I go down to the place, and there's a note on the door saying that they've been closed by the authorities for some unspecified reason.
Were you able to get money back?
Oh, they hadn't taken it out of my account.
Oh, okay, good.
It was just, here I am, and it's 5 o'clock on 420, and I still haven't scored.
It's not a successful day.
Yeah, so I went over to the OG Collective on Cross Street. That's a very nice it's a local organization, but it's very professionally run. They have several outlets, and everything's very neat and well labeled.
I think I've seen one of those around here too, somewhere.
They're all over the place. Yeah,
I've seen the sign in Corvallis somewhere.
Yeah, they're a good, reliable, professional outfit, and they were too crowded. Everyone had the same idea at once, and I looked in between the COVID precautions with people having to be 6 feet apart and all that crap. Just the crowd was not moving,
Yeah.
nothing was happening. So let's see. I go over to Piper's, which is a little one-man operation. Ever been to Piper's? It's in a little uh, shopping plaza with the tavern and such.
Yeah, see, I've never really smoked weed. I think I've smoked it twice in my life. So I don't, it's been interesting for me as an outsider to kind of watch all of this develop
Yeah.
and hear your stories and stuff. So,
So Piper's, there wasn't anything happened. I went to a new place, Tokyo Starfish. That is named after a big 5-point intersection in Tokyo. That's where they get the starfish.
okay.
Uh, Otherwise, I'm sure it has no connection whatsoever with Japan.
Well,
It's an outfit in Bend. They had their own grow operation, and they have a cannabis bed and breakfast thing for people who want to go. Well, especially for out of staters who don't usually have the opportunity, they can stay in the bed and breakfast and
right. Yeah.
get so ripped that they need a ride to the airport.
So were you successful at Tokyo Starfish?
uh, no, same thing. I looked at the crowd and I said, "Oh, I have some stuff at home. I, I can wait." So next morning, with a fresh, bright attitude, I got in touch with another outfit called DIEM, um, which is another very professional outfit, and they uh, did home delivery.
Convenient.
And even better, I still had a couple of $100 bills left in my wallet from when I had a jackpot up a couple of weeks ago. So it's good dealing with dope dealers who are used to dealing with our bills.
Right.
Even if it is legal, it had a certain aura about it. So I got an ounce of Mango-licious, which is, I don't know how to describe it. It's just wonderful stuff. Uh, so next day I'm set. I've got the Mango-licious. I got a bunch of gummies. And as usual, I have a gummy or two, the recommended 5 milligram dose, and that works up an appetite. And lo and behold, I got these little chocolates sitting there and some gummies, and I start nibbling. And before you know it, I'm into overdose territory. Not as bad as I was before when I ate a whole thing at once.
But you were hallucinating while driving?
Yeah,
That's not good.
I found that taking 50 milligrams at a time isn't a good idea.
Not recommended.
No, so I I was probably somewhere in the 20 to 30 milligram range. And the only hallucination that I had been looking for one of these that had gone missing with some stuff in it. I think that the cat may have made off with it and hid it someplace. Uh, but
I think that's why I don't smoke weed, because I think I personally am very, very sensitive to THC and whatever else is in there, because The one time that I did smoke it, I was watching TV. This was like 20 years ago, I think. And I literally was hallucinating. Like, it was the worst experience I've ever had. I just kept closing my eyes and waiting for it to be over. And it was terrible. And then a couple of times, because I have such terrible sleep issues,
Uh-huh.
I tried the non-THC,
Yeah,
all different kinds of things. And I remember one time it was an oil, and it was supposed to be practically no THC, right? Just the stuff that helps you sleep and not going to get you high, they told me. So I took a tiny, tiny bit at night, and I woke up the next morning, and I got up and I got ready for work, and I walked out to my car, and I stopped, and I'm like, this is how people get in accidents, because I am not okay to drive.
no.
So I had to turn around and come back, and then, go into work at 10 instead of 6. I had to go back to sleep. I just don't do it personally, because apparently I have a very strong reaction.
Yeah, it doesn't agree with everyone's chemistry. There's some people who have tried it a time or two and decided, no, no, no.
Yeah, that's my entire history of smoking weed. Like, at one time in high school, in the dugout at the baseball field. That was not even really weed. That was, 50 years ago, 40 years ago. So, yeah. Yeah, that was stuff they wouldn't even sell now, probably.
Oh, like Mexican ditchweed or what?
Yeah, yeah. All seeds and stems.
Yeah, yeah. I remember the ritual of cleaning the brickweed. Yeah, with
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
usually like the top of a shoebox or something where you can roll the seeds out of it.
Like panning for gold.
Yeah, it's a real art. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That was my first experience way back, 40, 30 years ago. And then the other two I just talked about, that's my full and total experience with smoking weed.
Yeah.
So do you find that, because I know you have some issues with anxiety sometimes, do you find that it helps with that? Do you do it for enjoyment, or do you do it for any kind of medical reason, or?
Mostly enjoyment. I mean, if you go back to the first time that I ran across literature about cannabis was in an 1840s Materia Medica that I crossed paths with the Shakers. You know about them?
Uh-huh.
Kind of an Eastern religious colony. I think they got as far as Ohio. They they were a great provider of seeds and herbal medicine. And you go into their pharmacy, which has been recreated at the Hancock Shaker Village in Massachusetts, and they had cannabis extract by the quart.
Wow.
You know,
They use it for everything.
yeah, there was a reason that they were dancing around in circles and carrying on. Yeah, so at that time, it was used to treat melancholy, which means in modern terms it was an antidepressant.
Right, right.
And that's pretty much what I use it for.
Yeah.
Just to feel a little bit better, and it also helps me sleep.
Yeah. Yeah, I really was wanting it to help me sleep, because my struggles with sleeping, like,
Yeah.
it's just an eternal nothing works. Nothing. I mean, I can get to sleep, but I can't stay asleep no matter what. So I was really hoping it would work, but
Uh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah. Yeah. And I've taken some pretty heavy, I've taken Ambien, I've taken clonazepam, amitriptyline, which is an just a whole bunch of stuff, and nothing has ever worked.
That's just serious, serious stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. And I still couldn't stay asleep.
Here, here.
Kitty, kitty. Oh, what a pretty kitty.
She's talking to.
Yeah, she is much more interactive now, isn't she?
Yeah.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad you have a companion. Couple more weeks and I can come pick you up and we can go out to eat or something. 'Cause we'll both be fully vaccinated.
Pardon?
We'll get back to our normal bi-monthly visits.
Oh, do I dare hope?
Yes, yes. Couple more weeks, that's it. No, I'm actually really getting excited about planning trips again. I think I'm gonna do a road trip this summer. I think I'll go down to the Southwest like we were talking about before. I think I'll take a week and a half and go do that.
There's so much to see. You can't go wrong.
I know, and it's not gonna, I'm not expecting to hit a lot of different things because that's not how I want to do it. I think I'm gonna go and then go again and then go again and just plan specific things that I want to see and spend time.
We're gonna hit the Four Corners, or
Don't know what I want to do first. High on the list is Canyon de Chelly, but I don't know what's open or what will be open for guided tours.
that's a factor. Yeah, we're still getting out of the COVID restrictions.
Right. So I may plan on going to somewhere that's more self-guided, and camping and just hanging out for a bit. I haven't decided yet. But the fact that I am planning it.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
That's a good step.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's Amy up to?
She is, Peter's climbing Mount Everest.
He's off doing that now, huh?
Yes, he is. He was, last pictures I saw, he was at the base camp. Oh, and they are now traveling to the next, I think that's where he's at, but I've seen on the Instagram she's posting some pictures.
Oh.
It's amazing.
That's on Peter's page or Amy's?
On Amy's.
Okay.
Yeah, you should get on Instagram and check it out. And she also, if you want to look at the SoarinGazette.com, that's where she's kind of blogging his trip.
SoaringGazette.com, huh?
Yeah, SoaringGazette.blogspot.com.
Soaring Gazette, one word?
Mm-hmm. So I'm going to send you the link in chat. And then you can I'll share my screen with you. So basically, everybody that's watching this is just getting a hint of what our conversations are usually like. Because this is, yeah. So I'm going to share my screen. And you can see, can you see this? This is the Soaring Gazette. And this is her tracking him.
Oh, Jesus.
And I will show you some pictures. This is his hiking partner has taken these pictures.
Oh, my word.
Yeah. Isn't that amazing? I mean, you talk about adventure travel. Yeah. So click on that link and you can read about his whole journey there. Isn't that amazing?
Oh, so the archives are all on the same storyline or on the same?
No, so this is something she started when Thorn was little, I think.
Ah,
But she has uploaded all of this Everest stuff to this spot so everybody can find it.
okay.
But in addition, you can go back and read her other stuff too. There's one Austria, camping, Canada, Christmas, Colorado. So lots of stuff in there,
Uh,
including this Everest trip.
that's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I will ever be that adventurous with my travel. I will have smaller adventures.
Oh, yeah. For me, even a walk in the park is a challenge. So
What is the most adventurous thing you think you've ever done?
I don't know. Hiking the Appalachian Trail,
Oh, you did that?
or part of it anyway.
Parts of it? Yeah. Yeah, which is what I want to do with the Pacific Crest Trail is just do parts.
Yeah.
What prompted that and how old were you and how was it?
Oh, that was when I was uh, still living back in Connecticut, around age 30 or so. And uh, I don't know. I've always enjoyed walking in the woods, and it got to be a little bit more fashionable at that time. It was easier to find people who wanted to hike with you.
Yeah.
So.
How many days were you out there? What did you just do a section?
Yeah, just from where I lived in Connecticut up to Mount Everett in Massachusetts, which is about a 4,000-foot high ridge or a mountain on the Appalachian Ridge. The Appalachian Ridge kind of cuts through Connecticut and up through Massachusetts.
Interesting. So do
The,
you backpacked? You took your stuff and camped and
yeah, yeah, I've done it with a group, and I've also made the same hike solo.
how was it hiking solo?
Oh, I like camping out under the pines where it naturally lays a bed of soft pine needles and kind of keeps most of the night moisture off.
Yeah, yeah. It's pretty magical out there, isn't it?
Yeah, and there was one point where there was a crew of us who were up on top of Mount Everett. That area used to be famous for iron mining. The hills are riddled with iron, and some places where you drive through and the radio reception stops, just because of the iron. We were sitting in we were in an Appalachian lean-to up at the top of Mount Everett, or close to the top. Uh, it's a wooden structure, open on one side, and it had the the floor was the mountain itself. There wasn't any false floor on it.
Yeah.
So we're sitting up there watching a great thunder and lightning storm down in the valley, and we're kind of close to the clouds, so you can see it kind of come down right in front of you. And what I hadn't thought about was the part about how the lightning really doesn't just come down from the sky. The storm draws the lightning up from the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And we were sitting on the ground in our wet socks and,
Oh no.
just ignoring the fact that we're on a conductive surface during a thunderstorm.
Yeah.
Up until you feel the first surges, and it's, oh shit, and everybody pops up and gets off of it, hops onto to a plastic tarp that we had, and we all kind of huddled together, waiting for it to blow over.
Wow.
So that was fun.
Wow. Just the power, you don't really think about the power of just rain and wind and weather most of the time. And then all of a sudden you're in the middle of it and it's unbelievably powerful.
Yeah, it becomes very relevant. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, especially if you have wet feet.
Yeah.
Yeah. My goal in the end is to just have those kinds of stories to tell. Right?
Yes.
You
Yes.
know? I mean, it's a sign of an amazing life that you have all of these stories to tell.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Well, I don't have the quotation, but Carl Jung had a famous statement when he was advising people who wanted to learn psychology. Oh, cat, what are you moaning about? No, no, no,
It's very loud.
no, 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 no. Oh, poor kitty. I think I used up all the chicken liver. Maybe that's what she's asking for.
Oh, maybe. Yeah.
She she's complaining about something. I'm not sure what.
Yeah. And you have to go play detective.
Yeah.
Mm. You know, there was once we had a cat. We lived out in Blodgett. And I was doing dishes. So I was just standing at the kitchen window. There was a little wall here. And then the front door was right there. And you couldn't really see the front door. But I was doing dishes and I heard the cat say out. Not like meow. Not like, oh no, it wasn't. It was door. It was door that I heard.
Oh, that's a hard one.
Yeah, and I peeked around and the cat was sitting in front of the door looking at me. I was like, okay, you want to go out? Here you go. But it was very definitely door, not meow, not meow. It was a very strange experience.
Yeah, I've been learning some cat, but we have work to do on her English.
Yeah, I still to this day don't know if it was something I actually heard or if I just heard it in my head.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But it was very real and very interesting. So Carl Jung had a quote, you said?
Oh well, he said that if you really want to learn about psychology rather than going to school, it's better to get out in the world and go to beer halls and political meetings and churches and
Which is exactly what you did
yeah,
your entire life, right?
yeah, yeah. Get out, involved in human interaction and see how it works.
Yeah. Yeah, I completely agree with that. I think experience is as good, if not better, than you know listening to what someone else has to say about it.
Yeah, when you study particular psychologists, you get a narrow view. You get it filtered through their experience and consciousness, and it's not always an exact fit for what you need right then.
Right, right. And I think the of paramount importance is that everybody needs to reach their own conclusions, right? I mean, you need to be analytical and take in a huge totality of experience and then make your own judgments.
One would hope, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, which I don't think a lot of people do. I think a lot of people are content just to receive information that someone says is correct
Yes.
and take it as gospel, right? Yeah.
I'm going to go run find a pack of cigarettes. I'll be right.
Okay, well let's wrap this up real quick because we are at a half an hour. I'm going to
Oh,
sign off and I'm going to call my daughter, and then I'm going to go to my studio.
Already a half hour. Oh, okay.
Oh, it went fast, huh? Maybe let's just do this format from here on out and just have conversations like we normally would about
Yeah.
whatever pops up. Doesn't have to be your history, doesn't have to be anything in particular.
Sounds
We
good.
just talk like we always do.
Sounds good.
All right. Well, we're signing off for now, and I will talk to you soon.
Bye bye. Thank you.
Bye.